What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Sam Toss Nerdy. I hope you're happy, doing well, crushing life, dominating, kicking ass, taking names. Blue Beetle, after so many delays and ups and downs, is finally coming to theaters this week, and to get everyone excited, I thought it'd be a really good idea to take a look at the comic history of Jaime Reyes. Without further delay, let's get into it. A real quick disclaimer, quick thingy. Jaime is the third Blue Beetle. The first is Dan Garrett. The second is probably the second most known Blue Beetle, Ted Kord. And then we have Jaime Reyes. We will be introduced to Jaime Reyes during Infinite Crisis. He will be bonded to the Scarab after it somehow ended up in El Paso, Texas. After that, he would meet Booster Gold, who was also sent to El Paso, Texas to retrieve the Scarab, but well, he was too late. So instead, he recruits Jaime for Batman's attack on Brother Eye. After the attack was successful and Brother Eye is defeated, the Scarab will teleport Jaime away because they want to escape the present Green Lanterns. Jaime would next be seen fighting Guy Garner, who was driven to rage by the Scarab. Jaime would return to Earth after he woke up in the desert, in the nude, and had to hitchhike home. And come to find out, he's been missing for a year. And it would be here that his official career as a superhero would begin. During his early career, he would work with characters like Oracle, the Phantom Stranger, and fight a local crime boss called La Dama and his gang, the Posse. During this time, Jaime would eventually learn the origin of the Scarab and learn it came from a militaristic race called the Reach. But after some exposure to the magic, the Scarab was left corrupted. During a tie-in to Countdown to Infinite Crisis, Jaime would team up with Tracy 13, who really sounds like a Ben 10 parody, and will stop Eclipso from stealing a very powerful magic baby. And he would also start a relationship with Tracy 13. Well, it's hinted at, but still. The Reach would eventually come to Earth, and after Jaime would attempt to attack their flagship, and after an emotional outburst, the Scarab would shut down and be removed from Jaime. And thus Jaime will be thrown into prison, but thanks to the Scarab transmitting some knowledge to Jaime, he would escape and take down the flagship. Also during this whole ordeal, it will be revealed that the Scarab has developed its own identity and has taken the name Kaji Da. After the Reach Negotiator unleashes a Doomsday device, Jaime and Scarab would decide to sacrifice their lives to stop it. Thankfully, Booster Gold will jump in and save them, and thus they would live through this whole ordeal. Jaime would eventually start working with the Teen Titans after he helped them defeat Lobo, who was hired by the Reach to help them keep their whole facade of being protectors alive. He would be offered a place on the team part-time, which he would accept. At one point, he would go and visit the Titans, only to find out that main members of the Justice League had been captured by alternate versions of the Titans from a different future. So he would help the League and the Titans defeat these future Titans, but during this, he would cause a rift between him and a member called Kid Devil after Jaime beat Kid Devil's future version. He would also help the Titans take on Starro. Jaime will be recruited by a future ally named Black Beetle, and he will work with both Booster Gold and Dan Garrett to travel back in time to save Ted Kord, who died during Infinite Crisis. Returning to the present, they would find a dystopian world ruled by Maxwell Lord, who also didn't die during Infinite Crisis since he didn't kill Ted Kord. It will be revealed that Black Beetle is not a future ally of Blue Beetle, but he's actually a future enemy. Seeing this sort of dystopian world, Ted Kord decides to travel back in time to when he's supposed to die and accept his fate. But it would be hinted at that he didn't die in the end after all. And that's a story for another time. Jaime would even be offered a full-time membership on the Titans, which he would accept. Jaime would battle the Reach one more time after they infiltrated Skull Dance to try and kill him so he can try to make the Earth a safer place. This would all end with Jaime, basically body slamming the Reach Negotiator into the Earth's surface. The Reach Negotiator would die, but Jaime would survive, greatly injured, but he would slowly recover. Jaime would next be seen in a Booster Gold run as an ongoing feature, and during this time, the Scarab, after being rebooted, would be very bloodthirsty, which I think we've seen in Young Justice. And some of these adventures included fighting Black Beetle once again, and this would get really complicated because it's first believed that Black Beetle is actually Jaime's friend who went mad because a mutual friend of theirs was injured during the last attack by the Reach, and he took the Reach Negotiator Scarab, put it on, and became crazy, but then it's, I think, retconned, and it's actually Jaime from the future who killed his friend, took the Scarab, and became crazy after another friend of his was injured or left brain dead after an attack. It got really weird. He would also work with Booster Gold's robot partner Skeet to try and find Booster Gold, and this would all end with them taking down Black Lantern Ted Kord. After Blackest Night, Jaime would work with the Titans to save Static from a villain named Holocaust. things would not go well and they would be easily defeated, but thankfully Cyborg, Kid Flash, and Superboy showed up and saved the day. However, this defeat really scared Jaime, and he was afraid that he would never get a chance to say goodbye to his parents. So after this, he decided to take some time from the Titans to go back to go see his family, to just spend some time with them and to just be there with them. This whole visit would go south after he and his family would be attacked by Omax. Thankfully, Booster Gold, Captain Atom, and Ice would show up to help him defeat these Omax. And he, along with the other members of the JLI, will be sent to Russia through a teleportation portal, and come to find out that Maxwell Lord, who revealed himself after posing as a member of the Creature Commandos, is alive. During this, Jaime would get captured by Maxwell Lord and tortured, and after being saved by the JLI, well, let's just say history repeats itself, and Jaime will get shot in the head by Maxwell Lord. Thankfully, he would survive thanks to the Scarab and come to know Maxwell Lord's plan, and so they would defeat Maxwell Lord and the Omax. And this would bring us to the New 52, where Jaime would become the Blue Beetle after protecting his friend Paco from a battle between the Brotherhood of Evil and La Dama. After the Reach would attack Odom, the Blue Lantern homeworld, Jaime would encounter Kyle Rayner and come to find out that his Scarab has been damaged and hence why he has control, unlike the rest of the Reach who are all under control of the Scarab. Because apparently the Scarab is a sort of a hive mind. Jaime would be captured by Lady Styx and forced to take part in a bounty hunter game, but he would work with a new god named Lonar to take down Lady Styx and end this game. In the Future's End, he would be seen fighting in a resistance against Brother Eye. However, he would die and become a robot controlled by Brother Eye, and this would bring us to DC Rebirth, where he would be seen working with a very much alive Ted Kord, not only working as a superhero, but also studying the Scarab to see how he can get it removed from his back. And also, in another retcon, thanks to Dr. Fate, the DC Rebirth version of the Scarab would apparently not be alien technology, but magic. And this brings us to Blue Beetle Graduation Day, the more recent Blue Beetle comic. Jaime finally graduates high school, but he would also learn that the Reach are planning something. And this would cause him to be grounded by the Justice League, but that didn't really last long because he would go to El Salvador to investigate the sighting of a yellow beetle. And not only that, he would also eventually meet a green beetle, and they would both fight a faction of the Reach called the Horizons, who don't really like the Scarabs, don't really like the militaristic ideals of the Reach. And that is where the story ends for right now. Obviously, it's still going on, so this video could easily be outdated here soon, but I still thought it'd be a good idea to give you all an idea of who Jaime Reyes is and a look into his comic book history. You know, I never really looked much into Jaime. I mean, I know of him. I saw him in Batman Brave and the Bold. That's how I was first introduced to him. And of course, I saw him in Young Justice, various DC animated films, Injustice 2. You know, I've seen some comics about him. I think I own the first issue of the DC Rebirth run. But I just never really looked much into him. But honestly, now I'm glad I did because his history is very interesting. And honestly, I love the whole lore behind the Scarab and the Reach, and I honestly kind of hope we see some more of that in a Blue Beetle sequel or maybe in the future of the DCU. Just like, imagine a Justice League movie where Blue Beetle has to work with like Superman, Batman, the Justice League to take on the Reach. Anyways, that'll be it for this episode of Sam Talks Nerdy. Thank you for watching or listening if you're listening to this via my podcast. If you are listening to this via the podcast, please make sure to leave a 5-star rating and a good review where you can because, well, it helps get my podcasts out there for more ears to listen to. And also, feel free to follow me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And, well, until next time, stay happy, stay well, stay healthy. Don't get attached to a Scarab. Don't join a hive mind. Some other joke I'm not thinking of. And I will see you or talk to you next time. Peace out.